Good morning and welcome to Political Spectrum, reaching you live from the beautiful hills of Ibrakuran. And this is where we keep our eyes open on all sides of the spectrum, from the left to the right, analyzing issues and bringing you facts as it happens in the political scene. My name is Otobasi Tam, and quite frankly, I am not alone on the set today.
Yeah, my name is Joseph Otobo. Good morning, and it's my pleasure to join you. And trust me, when we look at political spectrum, it's a movement to x-ray the entire political space. You would agree with me that quite a lot has happened in the last 72 hours in Nigeria.
Of course.
In Nigeria. And when you see political gladiators coming out, this is not far-fetched from the 2023 that is awaiting us. We see all of this happening because 2023 is just by the corner.
It's by the corner. I like the word you use. I like your choice of words, political gladiators. And they're going to feed us with a lot of activities. And we're just talking about activities. Let's quickly bring you up to date with some of the activities that are developing at the moment. And Governor Mai had called the judge a checkmate and declared the court judgment is null and void. You recall the story of the court judgment on Tuesday that was ruled by a federal high court sitting in Abuja to sack the person of Governor Mahi. And of course, Wednesday, by its president, Olamide Akwata, said Governor Mahi's attack on judiciary was unfortunate and unacceptable. And that's reactions coming from the NBA. Mr. Akwata said that Mr. Mahi's language against the judgment and the judge was intemperate. He said the governor's arrogant to himself and judicial powers and magisterial authority to declare the judgment of a court of competent jurisdiction as null and void, while unashamedly declaring his intentions to disregard in favor of another. To put it plainly, this is impunity of the highest order on executive rascality taken too far. He made very strong assertions. First, he said it feels so sorry that he feels very sorry for the judiciary. And then he himself declared the ruling null and void. And I mean, he was taking it lightly, but the NBA is not looking at it in the direction he's saying it.
You know, Otobasi, the sad thing is that on the flip side of it, if it were victory for Dave Umahi, he would have poured encomiums on the judiciary. Now the table has overturned to the side of the PDP. So he is playing the victim here. You know, that's one thing about Nigerian politicians. They hardly accept defeat. They hardly accept defeat.
He might have a point from an angle that there is no clear-cut provision by the Nigerian Constitution as to why the court declaring it sacking or dismissing a governor on the fate of defection to another political party. That particular provision applies to only members of the legislative and not the governor. So he might want to, but I feel to some extent the court has the powers to expound the law and its application. Well, it is what it is, and the issue is that the NBA, they say they're not taking it lightly. It is politics taken too far.
Yeah, because to Nigerians, however it is, he should have used some very decent words on the judiciary.
Absolutely,
that's
a
revered arm of government. He should use, because he to a greater extent, Dave Umahi has a great political history. He's done great in the Ebonyi State. If you look at the 36 governors in Nigeria, Dave Umahi is a bright light in Nigeria. But he coming out to hit so hard on the judicial system, calling the Justice Nyangeku, all of the unprintable names weren't necessary. But let's see, because we saw the reactions that NBA, came up, against it. But let's see, he made a U-turn also yesterday, and Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State has apologized to the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, over his statements credited to him for allegedly maligning the integrity of Justice Nyangeku of the Federal High Court Abuja. In the same vein, Umahi disclosed that 16 lawmakers of the State House of Assembly whose seats were declared vacant by the Federal High Court has equally appealed the judgment. Umahi tendered an apology on Wednesday while addressing a cross-section of the people that thronged the Abakaliki Township Stadium on a solidarity visit to him. I think if we have that video, we would love to hear what he said when, if we can have that video, because he said 18 sons have been engaged.
Now, this is someone that feels sorry for the judiciary. And this is the same person that is hiring 8 sons. 18.
8 to go to Abuja, 10 to go to Enugu.
And I'm telling you, I don't know if he actually feels sorry for the judiciary. What magic is he expecting?
Maybe that's why he's making the U-turn.
Okay.
Because you know, I was saying something yesterday. Politicians would say this in the morning, and in the next 2 hours they say something very different entirely.
That's the position of the court. They don't want politicians crisscrossing and flipping up and down with political parties. Now, what is his reason for defecting from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress? In whose interest is that defection? You know, now, the mandate from the court ruling is that the vote that was casted, his winning was not on his person, but was on the mandate of the party. The voting was for the People's Democratic Party and not for Governor Umahi as a person. So if he feels he can no longer work with the People's Democratic Party, well, the party says, okay, it was our vote.
There was the mandate, yeah, so we get it back. And already that same day we had 2 nominations, you know, going to INEC to
absolutely.
Yeah, you know, definitely PDP just waiting, because the idea that he got the mandate on the PDP platform. But I love what he did now, making that U-turn. That's one thing, and also filing a stay of execution and going to the
well, I feel if he wants to apologize, he should do it, you know, in a more formal way, because he held a press conference to mete out derogatory statements on an arm of government, an independent arm of government, which is not, you know, in any way submitted or should be it's not your subject. The judiciary is not subjected under the executive. They are standing on their own, and you meted out such derogatory statements. It's only natural that you call back another press conference.
Definitely.
And retender a proper apology, if that's what
yeah, because
apology.
Yeah, from what we saw there, it appeared that it was more or less like an afterthought, because like you said, it was not a press conference. It was just, you know, a rally. The judgment is out there.
It's out there.
He should go contest. He should get to the higher court, and that'll be fine.
He has already filed for an appeal. Well, away from that, the All Progressives Congress APC presidential candidates, they have said that the 2023 elections is expected to come from the southern region of the country. Governor Nasser El-Rufai of Kaduna State said at this on Wednesday, explaining that the national chairmanship position for the party will come from the northern part of the country. And as expected, of course, others, the presidential candidates will come from the south. And anywhere from the south that they deem fit to zone the position to is solely up to the southern governors. And according to him, the southern caucus of the ruling party will then decide, yes, which part of the area the candidates will come from. El-Rufai and the All Progressives Congress, they have been on the news for all wrong or maybe perhaps right reasons, because you never can tell what's wrong or right with the All Progressives Congress. They have had issues going back and forth from zoning to who is the substantive chairmanship candidate. When you had the caretaker extraordinary, they said they don't want that one. You have the acting chairman, and of course, just to go back and forth with series of internal issues amongst them. You know,
for the fact that at least they've decided to zone it to the south, it's quite impressive, because there was this agitation or this fear that power would be going back to the north. Now, by next year, May 29, we would be having President Muhammadu Buhari completing his 8th year, 2 terms, you know. So it would be very unfair and not at all, not fair, not equitable at all, that power would be going back to the north.
They had a fair, an argument that the north, a part of the north central haven't.
I'm not also tested power.
Of course.
Yeah, fine. But however I look at it, Nigeria is majorly divided into 2. You know, regions, the north and the south. Now, at the point of when we say the north, we can then microzone it to the northeast, the northwest, and the north central. Coming back to south here, we have the southeast, the south-south, and the southwest. At the South-South region here, which of these sections or geopolitical zones have not really also enjoyed the presidential seat? It's the southeastern part of Nigeria. So, for the fact that he is saying that power is coming to the south, it's a good one. So, but at that point, when we are talking of micro-zoning, where are we taking it to? Is it southwest or is it the southeast?
When you talk of equity, which is always the case when it comes to political or zoning of positions, they will say for equity's sake, it should go to the southeast. But a lot of persons have said that power is not given.
Yeah, on a platter of gold, you demand, you go for it. Power is not given
on a platter of gold. So if you say maybe it because legitimately, or let's say for fairness, the southeast haven't had an opportunity to man the affairs of Nigeria at the center, and now because of that, they did, okay, somebody from the south come and take.
Yeah.
It might not work out that way.
Yeah.
They said they have to prove themselves. They have to, they have to lobby to ensure that it comes true. But I don't know how far that the Southeast are willing to do that, because maybe if they want, they could come up with a consensus candidate and push through. But I think they have a couple of them who have indicated in this.
We have a couple of them. The Dave Umahi, His Excellency, the governor of Ebonyi State, had indicated interest to run. Ojus Okalo as well, the former governor of Abia State, has indicated interest to run. But let me quickly remind us that at the point, the North Central may have been zoned out because the new caretaker committee led by the Niger State Governor, Sani Bello, we heard that they are zoning the national chairmanship to the North Central. And that same zone cannot produce a president anymore. So coming down to South, East is better. Like the word we could, the word we use, fairness. But trust me, we have the Jagaban of Lagos there. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is coming out very strong in Southwest. So if he plays his card well, as long as it's South, the people may not want to know where it's going to, whether it's Southeast or South-South or... remember, we also...
They have to put up a good argument. They have to liaise and lobby, because if they come out or maybe have some form of agreements with Ahmed Bola Tinubu, they might just have a fair chance. But if they sit back and watch and feel, okay, it's our turn, it's our right, we are dealing... I think it should come to us naturally. I think they might just miss out on another opportunity.
Definitely, they might just miss out. But let's not forget that the PDP is also doing a political mathematics. Now, what is the mathematics? They know that the North, have a major stake in population. So it's been noised all this while that the PDP is looking out for, looking at taking power back to the North.
Of course.
We have the Atikus there. We have the Sarakis there. We have the Sokoto State Governor, Tambuwa. So if the entire North can pull up to 16, 18, 20 million votes, whatever we bring from the South could be a problem. So but some Southerners are not even...
Arguments is not, has caused a lot of issues amongst the PDP. Zoning has become an issue that should be addressed constitutionally. I don't know, because...
They have it in their constitution. PDP
has party constitution. I mean at the national constitution.
Definitely,
of course. But then, if you look at the People's Democratic Party, they said the Southern region have ruled for 16 years, while the North is barely ruled for maybe 2 years during President Umaru Musa.
Umaru ruled for about 2 years.
And the tenure was cut short because of his demise, sadly. But then, if you look at it, they said the All Progressives Congress have had another long 8 years of tenure, and that's still the North, and PDP is coming. That's what Atiku is arguing. He wants a single term to hand over to a Southeastern president after 4 years. And now the argument is that...
But can you trust Atiku for that?
That's subject to another day, right?
But trust me, I must really commend the APC. Now, why am I commending them? At least they are bringing out fair play, equity, and fairness. That power is coming to the South. So that's a big applause, for that party.
I think that will work for them on one angle. And if the PDP cannot come to an agreement, I know Governor of Rivers State is doing a lot. Governor Nyesom Wike is doing a lot to ensure he stabilizes the party. If you look at his body language, if you look at his movement, he has toured virtually all around the 36 states to try to fix and put PDP together. And if you look at it critically, it is the Southern governors that are the major financiers of the People's Democratic Democratic Party, and they want to call the shot. I don't think they are going to hands down too late
to allow you go back to the north.
Of course,
Most
that's what I'm
definitely.
looking at. And from all indications, they had a consensus to bring in a Southern president and all of that. But how that is working for them is something we'll still keep our eyes on.
Most definitely. Still talking of the Kaduna State Governor, there is another story that we have to quickly bring up. Kaduna State Governor El Rufai on yesterday disclosed that President Muhammadu Buhari gave them a directive to remove the Yobe State Governor Mala Buni as the chairman of the caretaker committee of the APC. El Rufai disclosed this while featuring on Channel Television's Politics Today. Said governors elected on the platform just allow things to degenerate in a party by taking a backseat. Now, but let's look at the story that His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari gave them the directive to what we use in the media to yank to yank you know, the Yobe State Governor. Now, there's a man who is in Dubai. He went to Dubai for his health checks, and suddenly we saw a palace coup. Because just some days
he's packing large was taken over by another.
Completely taken over. And our own son here, distinguished Senator Dr. Akpan Odoidege, you know, has come out on several fora to say that, look,
it's only the president that can fire him.
Yeah, look at fire him. But you know, the governors. Let me say this to our viewer: governors are very powerful in Nigeria. Governors are very powerful.
Definitely.
Now, this is what El Rufai said: that 19 governors of the APC, you know, they've all agreed that Boni should go. It's only 3 governors, and Dave Umahi is supporting Boni. The governor of Yobe State, would I say the outstate national caretaker committee chair? But maybe we'll just leave it at that. But at the moment, Sani Bello has taken over, and this is what he said on that the president, before leaving for UK, you know, for his health check, that told them that they should. He believes in them. He believes they have capacity. That they should go ahead and take Buni off that place.
Oh, well, that's his position. But I don't know if because there's no video to that effect, no evidence so far let loose to the public to that effect. It's just what we heard. So I don't know if we can count on that, because the president that I know is quiet about a whole lot of things. He's leaving it for the political players to sort out themselves and try to see how they can, you know, conform and align and realign and all of those kind of things. But then if you look at it critically, it still boils down to the fact that I know a PDP fellow I spoke with recently once said they should stop castigating PDP when they cannot hold a national congress. I think holding a national congress
that has been for the 3rd time. They've been able to shift that for up to 3 times
for the All Progressives Congress, and I feel they should try to put themselves together if they really might have a chance of, you know, retaining power at the center.
Definitely. So let's just hope that maybe at some point in the course of our show today,
that will inform
definitely
the conversation.
We'll really talk about that, because at the moment all is not well with the Broom family. All is not well with the Broom family.
The Broom family. It sounds funny, but all is not well with the Broom family. Okay, but we will have a public affairs analyst, a political affairs analyst on standby who will join us after now. But quickly, another governorship aspirant in Akwa Ibom State, I'm talking about Right Honorable Norfolk Luke, has begun consultation. And yesterday he was at the PDP party secretariat to, you know, tell the stakeholders, I'm declaring myself to become the next governor for 2023. And it was in a massive, you needed to see the massive turnout. It was intense, and at every time an aspirant wants to consult the party, there's always a turnout of people. And he's making the 4th person that has consulted the party from the umbrella party. Okay, let's take a look at it now.
To bed tonight to sleep. As you go to bed tonight to sleep, search in your innermost recesses of your conscience who will best define your interests as party officials. I will speak to that very soon. As you go to bed, think who will best define the interests of the generality of Akwa Ibom people. As you go to bed tonight, and as you ponder before you get into wheresoever we are going to do the primaries, look within you. Who is going to protect the interests of the men, the women, the youth? Who is going to get everyone to be on the same page? And so, sir, I am running on a single theme. I'm running on a theme of building together and growing together. We need to turn around now and do a research on the manpower need of the deep sea port, and then get our sons and daughters in Oro, and our sons and daughters in Esreke, in Eket, in Ibron, in the entirety of Akwa Ibom State, in Ikorekpene, and then turn to the big maritime belt, like Egypt, like Singapore, like Sweden, Mr. Chairman, for them to be trained to build capacity, so that when the deep sea port is finally functional, we are not just going to wait to begin to carry placards asking for menial jobs, that we are going to occupy the managerial positions in the deep sea port, Mr. Chairman. So we are going to build people.
Okay, that was Right Honorable Norfolk Luke speaking his mind. He's known for someone who's always speaking from a place of emotion, and a lot of persons tend to be able to relate with him on his conversation. I think he has gained the street credibility. He's a grassrooter, a man of the people. Very soon you find him in the streets, you know, sharing some light snacks with people, and he is fond of doing that, and he does that a lot.
Yeah, you know, looking at Norfolk Luke, while he was at the State House of Assembly, he has, you know, presented several bills. Even when he became the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, he has done great. And one thing about him is very youthful. That's one thing about Norfolk Luke. And he became one of the biggest political experts there in Abuja. And at the House of Reps, is very
he's not
vocal.
doing badly, because he's a part of the committee that was set up for the constitutional amendment, and he's not doing badly in that regard.
Yeah, he's very vocal, representing Akwa Ibom State. So let them know that, look, right here, South Nigeria, we have the best from Akwa Ibom State. So for him to, you know, throw his heart into the ring to run for the governorship of Akwa Ibom State, fine. It is legal right. It's
so the beautiful
right.
thing about the Norfolk Luke's aspiration is that he has come up publicly to say that he wants the seat, either the seat or nothing. You know, a lot of times you have seen politicians who, you know, they just come, you know, they come with an idea that, okay, if I don't win, I get settled, I could go for some. But he has said emphatically in strong terms that he wouldn't settle for anything but the governorship seat. And if that doesn't happen, he will get back to his profession or maybe get back to school to study. He's a man that has a wealth of knowledge. I think he's vast with education, and he still wants more and all of that. But let's see how it goes. You know, politics, you never can tell what will happen.
You're right. Definitely, no. There's something about Akwa Ibom State, and we say this clearly, that Akwa Ibom State is really blessed with very good governors. Let's take when we were when Akwa Ibom was together with Cross River State. Let's look at the likes of Clement Song, you just went, you know.
Governor Victor Atta.
Yeah, then to the new Nigeria, we have the Victor Atta. He did excellently well. He made the roadmap for Akwa Ibom State. Then he had a good successor, Obong Gospel Akpabio. He did excellently well. Now we have the sitting governor, Dikino Dom Emmanuel, is doing well. I mean, most times when you see him speak, you know, he's speaking from the side of knowledge. Emmanuel who is coming from the background of the financial, you know, industry. You know, he has done quite a lot. So Akwa Ibom State needs, you know, another strong hand that would consolidate on the gains of this present administration moving forward. So whoever that comes up, we hope whether from the APC or PDP, we are just hoping that they throw up their very best to Akwa Ibom State.
But one thing is certain, is going to be quite a tough competition for everyone, regardless of the party. But from the PDP, we have seen a lot of strong hands, but intellectually they have wealth of knowledge, inexperience, they are there. But the youth just is going to be a battle for the fittest. Let's watch and see how it develops. But at this right time now, we will call for a short break. And when we return, we'll have our guest on set. So don't go away. Please stay. You're welcome back. The show is still Political Spectrum, reaching you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran here in Akwa Ibom State. Of course, the issue at hand is the ongoing internal crisis in the All Progressives Congress. And Joseph, you rightly said that this is a leadership problem, and it has become hereditary that people from the All Progressives, they've always had these issues over time. And I don't know at some point whether it's possible that they are going to ever get to an end to this.
Definitely. Now, we're taking us back to 2013 when 3 political parties came together to merge. We had the ACN, we had the CPC, and the ANPP. ANPP was a faction of the ABGA and some, what they call the NPDP, the new PDP. Now, these 3 parties came on the platform to come up with the APC. Now, these were 3 different interests. So that was where the crisis started. Because we have what they say, 3, what they say is it, use the word bedfellows, strange bedfellows coming together to form a party. Now, and that's on one side. We also look at the leadership crisis. Apart from BC Okonde, who was the first interim national chairman of the APC, we had John Oyegun coming in. And if you look at from John Oyegun till date, all the national chairman, whether elected or appointed, they've left office disgracefully.
Well, I mean, it's typical because amongst all this, the national chairman they had that saw through their victory at the post
was John Oyegun.
Of course.
Yes, and he was removed.
Of course.
Adams Shimola came in, and we saw how Adams ended. Now, Buni came in 2020. Now, sometime in June, His Excellency the President gave them 6 months to conduct a national convention. That 6 months has gone up to 20 months so far.
And now this is supposed to be a caretaker
committee, which was supposed to run for 6 months.
6 months. And it lasted for over 20 months. And now a lot of party members are concerned because what actually gave them the merger was the power at the center. And now where power needs to shift from President Mohamed Buhari, who was their signature candidate that sought their victory in 2015, a lot of interests have begun to start. And the factions that are coming from the ACN and from other political parties that form the conglomerate of the APC, they all have interest. Interest still remains. And you talk about the caretaker committee. You mentioned, I think while we were on break, that the Buni-led caretaker committee has worked hard. And
he has worked hard.
Well. But I have a contrary opinion to that because you see, it is not enough to convince a sitting governor to move from one party to your party.
And he did 3. The Zamfara State Governor, Governor Matawale, the Ebonyi State Governor Devumai, and the Cross River State Governor Sir Ben Ayade. So some Nigerians are saying that he did well, but
I tend to disagree with that because I feel he has just accumulated more problems for the party. Because each of the persons that you have convinced and you feel is a win came with his own interest. And once that interest, at some point, I learned Ben Ayade also has an eye for the presidency. And now a lot of persons have. Not a single governor that has migrated from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress would rightly say doesn't have an interest to become one thing or the other under the Broom Party. But then once this interest are not met, and if they see by body language or by from any source that this interest will not be met, they form a faction and then fight the
definitely
party.
That's why being here today, taking us back to the historical trajectory, we see that APC has been laden with so much crisis. So much crisis. First, from the main point to the leadership issues. Now we see as a caretaker committee chairman who went on a medical tourism in Dubai. While there, he a member, because this Niger State Governor was also a member of the 13-man committee who was made to to conduct elections. Now, sadly enough, we have 16 days. From today for the national convention, and we are having this crisis in the APC. How can they sort themselves out in the next 16 days? Well, because the people in the Buni camp, they're saying Buni is still the national caretaker committee. APC caucus at the Senate are saying the Buni is still the. So there's this back and forth. Who is
the substance.
Now Sani Bello says he's the acting, you know, but already as the acting, he has taken over the space.
Of course, he connected the swearing in for all
state chairman, and also went ahead.
Contrary to the state chairmen that were on seat when Buni was in charge.
Yeah, I know. As at yesterday as well. Yeah, as at yesterday as well, he has, you know, inaugurated the chairman and secretaries of subcommittees. He has also reduced from 1,500 members of a committee to 100 only. So we see him using the next 16 days. It's really working. So they would say it's working, reducing a whole 1,500 members.
How valid is his chairmanship position? Is his acting vice chairman, acting chairmanship position? How valid is that? Because a lot of court ruling are in favor of Buni-led caretaker committee.
Yes, even to the Supreme Court.
Of course. So he is still recognized, and so far the president has not made any statement in that regard to say that, okay, this, as the leader of the party, is supposed to come into the play and say, okay, this is the chairman of the party, or the acting chairman, as the case may be. So what people still recognize, I don't know, taking over the parking lounge and conducting a swearing in, does that translate to a physical document that, you know, identifies you as the legally acting chairman? Okay,
normally in politics, you don't allow any space for lacuna, political lacuna, what they call political lacuna. Someone must fill that space. At the point that Buni left for treatment, you know, this man came in and is doing very well. He has not come up.
A political coup?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So what we call the palace coup happened 2 days ago. Now, the thing is that if Buni truly loves the party, he should not take them to court, because obviously, if it takes them to court, 26th of March would not be feasible. Remember, INEC came out with a timetable a week or two ago. So, and everybody should be working on that timeline.
Of course.
If the National Convention is being, you know, suspended by the court on the 26th, APC will run into a serious crisis like what we had in 2019 in Zamfara State.
And you are not, that's away from the lingering crisis and many court cases that are pending at the judiciary, cases coming from the local government and state congresses,
yes.
Irresolvable differences among party members at the state level, which is still pretty much predominant. And then at the center, they can't even, you know, pull the house together. And you said if Buni loves the party, he shouldn't take the case to court. Okay, another faction or another set of people from the party will say, okay, if he loves the party, he shouldn't have taken over, he should have waited for Buni. Now, how do you marry that?
You know, definitely, these are politicians. These are politicians.
You can't take that away from them.
You know, Buni came in, what we say as an accidental to solve a situation, because we have people who are seasoned in party administration. Buni is a politician. He's a governor of Yobe State.
He was doing well.
That's what I'm saying. As a politician, he knew how to use the mechanism of lobbying to lobby 3 other governors to join him. That doesn't make him an administrator. It's different from politics. So what I'm trying to say is that if he truly loves his party, to save them from crisis, because the way more crisis, the way it's going, if it takes them to court, the March 26th may not be feasible anymore from what we are looking at.
I hope, we wish them well, and we hope they'll be able to put their house together in 16 days, because the time is ticking, and I'm not sure INEC is going to extend their timetable to favor only the All Progressives Congress. All right, I think we have Adam Darlington on call now, and we'll quickly speak with him. He's a political affairs analyst, and we want to share his thoughts on this particular issue. All right, hello, Mr. Adam.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Well, time will fail us. We're running out of time. Hello, Mr. Adam.
Okay, yeah, I'm right here.
All right.
Oh, good morning.
Okay, you're live on Spectrum Television, and of course, we're talking about the crisis, the lingering, and of course, the what I call it seasonal or maybe continuous crisis within the All Progressives Congress, with specifics to what's happening with the active chairman taking over just when Buni had gone for medical vacation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, as a Nigerian citizen, and a patriotic one at that, I strongly believe and pray that APC will come out of this crisis very strong, I say that because I know that we need an APC to succeed in this country. We need a strong opposition, just the same way I also prayed and, talked with those I could speak with to ensure that PDP resolves their crisis so that we can have a strong opposition that will correct and bring out the heels of the current government, and point them to the right places and the right direction in order for them to sit up. So when you do not have strong opposition in government, that's where you begin to see all manner of things happening. So my thought is that the APC will come out of this crisis. Yes, I understand that they have all of those things. Those things happen in every political party. Don't forget, APC came together as a result of merger from four different political families. You had the new PDP, you had the ACA, you had the CPC, you had the APGA. So these kind of situations are very, very normal in situations like this. So I believe that what is going on is mere struggle for political structures.
Okay, Edem, let me quickly cut in there. Hello, Edem. Hello, Edem. Just hang on your thoughts because of time. I would love you to quickly give us your projection. Do you see Buni going to court to save his face?
Well, I do not see Buni going to court because from what I have, the pillars I have on ground, and I listened to the Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, it is very obvious that the emergence of Niger State governor is as a result of the president's backing. And so, because they have a lot of respect for President Buhari, I do not see Buni going to the court, but I see them resolving their crisis. And I see APC bouncing back very strongly.
Well, we thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us, and we couldn't wish them less. We hope that they resolve their differences and maybe put up a strong opposition for APC or, for the People's Democratic Party, or maybe for themselves, because at some point, if the People's Democratic Party becomes a triumph at the polls 2023, APC will also become opposition. So it is what it is. My name is Otto Basitam, and that has been our show for today.
I am Joseph Young. Do have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.